Today we're going to be doing the first ever simulation trade. We have the Patrick Laine trade to Montreal. I'm going to be giving my opinions on the trade as well as doing the trade in-game with both teams, as well as doing a simulation to see how Laine does in his first year with Montreal. We're using a roster that are as up to date as can be for next year. That way we can do a simulation pretending like it's next year to make it more accurate for Laine on the Montreal Canadiens. In terms of the trade here, you can see I have Josh Anderson on Montreal. The reason I did this as Montreal is over the cap space going into next year, at least in the game here. So we're just throwing him in to make the trade go through. Now I can tell you straight up, even if he wasn't in the trade, it's going to go through. Patrick Laine in a second, in the game at least, is more value than Jordan Harris straight up. So we'll do the trade on medium difficulty and just see if it goes through. And there we go, it goes through. So talking about the trade from the Montreal standpoint, picking up Laine is definitely a big acquisition. The question is going to be, is he going to be worth that $8.7 million going into the next 2 years? And to that, it's hard to tell because as long as there's no personal problems, he should be able to play at a level close to that, probably not at the level of an $8.7 million player. But if we just open up his stats here, like he's a good player. He knows how to score. He knows how to be close to a point per game. It's just the personal issues and the question of, can he be healthy? Obviously, he's also a guy who's put up 44 goals in the past, so big goal scorer here, multiple 30-goal seasons, multiple 20-plus goal seasons. So I think this is a big acquisition for Montreal as long as they have the cap space. Looking at this from the other side, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, obviously, Columbus had to trade Laine. He wanted out for whatever reason. It seems like there might have been locker room problems going on there. My concern with Columbus is really I don't understand the direction they're going in. They made the signings like Gaudreau and Severson in the past couple of years, adding guys like Goodbranson, Provorov, etc., trying to make the team better now, but then they're constantly at the bottom of the league, picking up good prospects like Fantilli. So it's not too clear to me, at least, where they're trying to go. It kind of feels like it's a bit of a dumpster fire right now. Hopefully they can find a sense of direction with their new GM, Don Wardell. Besides that, looking at the actual acquisition, getting Jordan Harris, he's really just a bottom line guy. Perhaps in Columbus, he can strive and get into the top 4. But at 24 years of age, at this point in the career, it's usually you see what you get. But who knows? Maybe he can take the next step in Columbus and be a good player for them. Now, I am a little bit surprised that Columbus had to throw in the second. Now, I think they had to throw in the second because it is technically a cap dump. He didn't want to stay on Columbus, and it just wasn't a good situation, and they're selling basically as low as they can on Laine right now. Just given the trade, you have to assume that other teams weren't that interested in Laine as well, so it seems like this was the best case scenario for Columbus, and I think Montreal ends up taking the W here in terms of the trade. So looking at the lineup now, obviously coming off a really bad year, probably set to have another bad year, adding guys like Monahan probably won't be enough. Looking for a guy like Fantilli to take the next step up, same with guys like Sillinger and Johnson. Defensively, there we have it. Jordan Harris slotting in on the bottom line. Now, the chemistry in-game is not great. Perhaps that's a sentiment to the real-life chemistry in the locker room for the Columbus Blue Jackets. But they're looking for guys like Juracek to take the next step, obviously be a full-time NHLer. Beyond that, obviously, I'm just not high on Columbus, and I hope they find their direction for the Columbus fans. Now, moving on to Montreal. Now, obviously, these lines might not be perfect, but the AI has Laine slotting in here on the second line. And honestly, I think this makes their top 6 look a whole lot better than having a guy like Anderson or Gallagher in your top 6. Still don't know if they're going to crack the playoffs, but they should be a better team going into this year. Perhaps even a dark horse for a wild card spot. Here's what their defense is looking like without Jordan Harris. Honestly, I think they're going to be fine without him. They're looking for guys like Laine Hudson to take the next step. Also looking for Gooley to continue his great play and perhaps even take another step. Beyond that, we could do the trade from the other perspective of Montreal, sending over Jordan Harris for Laine in a second. But I think we all know that the CPU is not going to accept that trade, as NHL doesn't have negative values, which possibly Laine may have negative value in terms of the real NHL right now. And in-game, he definitely doesn't have that. So there's no point in doing that, so we're not going to do that. But what we will do is sim the entire year and see how Columbus and Montreal do with their new players. Okay, so we've made it to the end of the season, and not too surprisingly, the Columbus Blue Jackets did not do very good, and Montreal also missed the playoffs, so let's look at the individual player stats. So Jordan Harris ended up only getting in 35 games. He actually ended the season in a top 4 role as there was injuries. As you can see in-game, not a very good season, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points, so the points weren't that bad, but a negative 17. I mean, you can't blame him too much as Columbus is pretty damn bad. More interestingly, let's take a look at Patrick Laine, who's ending the season on the top line. It looks like that might be due to some injuries. we'll see how he did. So 36 goals, 36 assists, 72 points in 82 games. So no injuries for him. I'm sure Montreal fans would absolutely love to see this stat line. I believe this matches his career high or just passes the career high in points. A -2 for him, but who cares? 72 points, almost 40 goals. What a season for Patrik Laine. Beyond that, that kind of wraps up the video. So if you guys enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.